Hello, this is Compound Interest Sakai, and today we're going to be talking about Tilt Holdings, so stay tuned. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the bell notification so you're notified when I upload a video. Please give me a thumbs up if you like this video and you find it valuable. I appreciate it. I also want to disclose I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment information purposes. Do not buy or sell stock based on anything I talk about in this video. Buy or sell after you did your research and your due diligence and you like the investment that you're pursuing. Holy shit, it's 420. But I'm not going to do that thing. So, anyways, let's get into this. So, Tilt Holdings reported their financials. So, I'm going to give you this stuff. Okay, so let's do this. So, let's say they got $97 million in cash and their total assets are $220 million and $919,000. Their liabilities are $18.055 million, and their shareholder equity deficiency is $202 million. So their revenue is $5.65 million, and their gross profit is $2.448 million. So that's a nice, good gross margin. Their operating expenses are $56 million, and their other expenses are $498. So they had a humongous loss, and that has to do with their impairment on their goodwill. So what that has to do with is they're saying that what they bought, they're not getting a good cash flow for, so they have to use that as a loss so that they can get money back for taxes. That's what I take. Listen, we're going to go into depth and we're going to watch the video where he talks to a reporter. There's a few. This guy's been busy lately. He talked on Maya's letter as well. So I'm not going to get into the Maya's letter thing, but we're going to watch this other video. So the comprehensive loss is 554 million, which is pretty big. I'm not going to lie. The loss, yeah. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, maybe there's other stuff going on, but okay, so here we're gonna watch this video, so listen and focus on what's going on. Thank you.
Joining us now for more on this and help us break it down and digest this, Alex Coleman, CEO of Tilt. Alex, pleasure to speak with you here today. Let's dive right into it. What led you to use a different methodology to come up with this drastically lower valuation?
Sure, and thank you for having me. It's not an overvaluation. What you have is two conflicting accounting policies. So when we went public on December 6th, it also coincided with the merging of four companies. And at that time, the public value was attributed as a percentage to each company based on their ownership. A few weeks later, now we're subject to IFRS and IAS 36, which is effectively an asset valuation review. That's not based on intrinsic value, it's based on cash flows. So not all of those assets produce cash flows. You know, if you recall, we're a B2B company, software, supply chain, devices, cannabis products. Some of those are not cash producing assets. And so under that methodology, irregardless of intrinsic value, they're written down based on future cash flows.
According to Barron's, your interview with them over the phone, you had given a description about this intrinsic value allocation, and they pointed out this difference with the actual financial statements itself, which was attributed to, quote, the outlook on the medical cannabis industry in Canada as a result of the legalized recreational market. So it does seem like there's a difference. Was there a difference in why you explained it that way to Barron's versus what it was stated in the documents?
Barron's didn't get it wrong, but they did pick up the MD&A language, which actually wasn't our own. We don't really take a very strong position in Canada. It's only one asset for us out of dozens. So that really isn't appropriate for what we're doing. I think really, as I said, it's just a function of having written up the assets and then taking a different accounting methodology on the back end of that in just a few weeks afterwards. I mean, look, it's a growth story. We're up. We did $98 million of pro forma revenue last year. If we consolidated on January 1st as opposed to December 6th, we were up 32.8 million in the fourth quarter, which is about a 30 to 35% growth rate, almost no EBITDA losses. We produced an $18 million January, which puts us up 50% on an annualized basis. So we're experiencing a 30 to 50% growth rate, and I think we're the top three revenue producers in the United States market right now, at least on a trailing basis.
Do you think the investors are overreacting to this?
Look, I think the value of Tilt is relative to our peer group, we're at a substantial discount. We trade at maybe a multiple or two of forward revenue, and the industry is about 9.6 times. So we have a massive gap to go, and the biggest issue for us is we went public on late December, and that didn't allow us to get anything in the market until yesterday. And of course, the first thing that comes out in the market overshadowing our revenue growth is a very unusual IFRS only accounting standard, not fair value, but cash flow, discounted cash flows.
All right, well.
So yeah, we're at a discount.
So the revenue for the fiscal year of 2018, 5.7 million, includes full year revenue of C. Hunter and just 1 month revenue from the merger with Baker Technologies, Brightside among them. Explain the significance of that.
It's not significant. You know, we've been investing in about 3 years. We've put about $200+ million into the ground and building out infrastructure. In 2019, we're only now realizing our first significant yields. And then after the January 1st, we closed on a number of different.
This guy is damn sharp. He is a smart CEO. I give him props.
Acquisitions. And so that's why that pro forma of 98 million is a much better indicator, and the 33% growth rate in the fourth quarter is a much better indicator as to what's happening with the company right now.
In terms of trends that we're watching in the U.S. and Canada as well, how do you position your business to make sure that you are seeing the growth in the right regions where Tilt has some type of operation or focus on growing out its revenue as well?
It's a great question. I mean, we are so multifaceted. We have over 1,000 retail customers. We have over 600 customers buying devices and products. I think we have over 300 OEs buying other supply chain services for us. And so what we've done is really look to be a partner with the industry. The one thing we don't do a lot of is manage our own retail, because that really conflicts with our message of being a partner company to everybody else. And specifically on the markets, you know, we've really positioned ourselves to have assets in the ground in places like Ohio, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Maryland, and really trying to capture that curve when you shift from medical to recreational. It's been a consistent strategy for us from the start. We have some assets in places like California and Nevada, but you really don't need a full-scale vertical. And you could argue that it's certainly Nevada, it's approaching maturity in terms of the growth that they're seeing.
Have you learned anything from the cultivation in Massachusetts, starting that to try to get those costs down for future startups?
It's like building a house. It's going to take you twice as long and twice the cost. We have spent an enormous amount of money and time and R&D on shortening that. If you recall, one of the assets brought in what's called a prefabricated modular grow room. We viewed that as paramount to being able to do this in a cost-effective way. We've actually cut our install cost down in half and our time to market in half. But regardless, you know, growing cannabis is no easy feat. I think we're terrific at it. We're doing over half a pound a foot, or 250 grams a foot, which is a very good metric, and we're doing it for about $700 a foot. But it doesn't mean that you have to constantly try and get better.
That is what's up. I hope you like this video and you learn a little bit more about what Tilt Holdings is doing and how they intend to be a major big player, and they intend to disrupt all the big players in the USA in the cannabis industry. Tilt, CSC, and SVVTF, I believe, in America, and that is Tilt Holdings. They intend to be a dominant force. So keep them on your watch list. Stay tuned. Learn more about what they're doing, because they're a big force to be reckoned with. Until next time, capiche!